And let me put this thing out before my wife kills me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. As I always say, I got a special one today, and I really do got a special one. It's either going to sway your opinion one way or keep your opinion right where it is. But either way, I'm glad to have the shoe. As a sneaker collector, it's pretty big for me, especially because I'm not one to really want to venture out and put in some of the work that I complain about not putting in. But let's check the shoe out. Let's get right into it. In my little opening cinematic, I already showed you the bag, but here it is in its glory. This is the large size trophy room bag. Now let's talk about the box. Here you have a special edition trophy room box. This box has a navy blue top with a red Jumpman. As you can see, the cement splatter on the outside of the box. It does have a gold ring right here, as well as the trophy room logo and the Nike Air logo. On the back side of the box, it does have Michael Jordan's signature on it. And lastly, on the front side, that has the trophy room logo right there. Size tag reads Air Jordan 7 Retro SP Obsidian Metallic Gold. So once you open the box top, you're gonna notice that there is some text on the inside. So starting on my right, but your left, the words June 22nd, 1992 appear, which we're gonna talk about that date. On my left side, your right, is the words Monte Carlo, Monaco. And right there in the middle, a new sheriff in town. And of course, we're gonna talk about that too. There's a ton of wax paper in here, and it actually is screen printed with various logos. One of which is, of course, the Jumpman logo. Hopefully my finger will show through here. If not, it's Jumpman logo. You do in fact have a trophy room logo. You have the logo here that's meant to accompany this shoe, which is a basketball with a sheriff's badge with the number 23 on the inside of it. And lastly, you have Michael Jordan's signature. Before I actually show the shoe, one cool little tidbit about the box itself. On the inside is a picture or a depiction of a hardwood floor with the trophy room logo at center court, baskets on either side, and like nice little, representations of empty seats out in the stands. Again, that's signifying a game that nobody ever saw. There was no one in attendance when the greatest game ever was played. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 7 Trophy Room, new sheriff in town. So for all those of you who are unaware, this shoe is inspired by both the Olympic Jordan 7 as well as the greatest game that no one ever saw. Now, I unfortunately do not have a pair of Olympic 7s in my collection, but I'll try to put a picture up somewhere around here. You guys can see it has the silver, lining with the white base. These peaks are, I think they're gold and red, just like this, with the blue base. And again, that is the red, white, and blue Olympic 7 that Jordan chose. There's also a Jordan 7 Tinker Alternate, which I did a review on. You guys can feel free to check that out once upon a time. But this one, I think, is loosely based on the original Jordan 7 Olympic shoe. So right quick, I'll show you the bottom of the shoe. Jordan 7s are unique with their multi-splash coloring. Again, you here have that red, white, and blue with a gold Jumpman on the bottom of it. I never know what these are actually called. Everyone calls them mountain peaks, and I just kind of respond in kind. You have red and gold mountain peaks, with the bottom of the midsole being that like muted faded blue. You have what I believe is a red medium hair suede. It could be a Durabuck or a Nubuck. I'm not sure the materials. I'm not the materials guy. But again, this is a nice red. It's a deep red, like a carmine red, which I'll show you guys a little bit later on. There's not a lot of motion to it, if any at all. So unfortunately, I do not know what the red signifies, why they put it on the parts of the shoe that they chose to put it on. As you guys can see, this is not really like a white colorway. It's kind of sail or off-white, a little dark. And it looks like the entire shoe is supposed to be like a muted color of the red, white, and blue. Even though the blue is a nice navy blue, it's not really vibrant, doesn't really pop. Could be some kind of vintage take on a red, white, and blue color scheme. Now this red could be a little bit of a sneak diss, a little jab at Magic Johnson. The Carmine in 1991 was one of the first Jordan 6s that he wore that season. I think he actually opened the season in the Carmines, but fact check me on that. But this was also the first silhouette in which he beat Magic for his first NBA title. So maybe there's some little sneak diss in there, but just speculation at this point. The actual eyelets are gold. Again, the 1992 Dream Team actually won the gold medal after having lost, I believe, Russia in the 1988 Olympic finals. At the top, you have a gold Jumpman, which is a really nice touch here. And actually like pressed in or embroidered or debossed into the actual shoe is Michael Jordan's signature, which I think is a really nice touch and adds a lot of just cool factor, a little wow factor to the sneaker itself. On the back of the shoe, you do have your traditional Jordan 7 shield, but this one is meant to signify the gold medal. Now, the gold medal that they received in the 1992 Olympics, again, was gold, and it does have the strap, the pull tab here, is actually like the bands that held the gold medal. I'll try to put a picture up if I can find it. I thought that was a neat little touch that actually has, the true to color blocking of the straps of the gold medals. And again, inside that is the number 9, which of course was Michael Jordan's number for the Olympic Games. On the back of the tongue, both shoes do say new sheriff in town, going with the theme of the shoe. So Jordan 7s are known for their like funky colorways. And of course, the insole has a splash of color. That's again on every Jordan 7. There's nice little hits of color everywhere. Now this one actually is pretty cool because it has a stitched patch that says the greatest game ever played, Monte Carlo. The shoe does come unlaced, and the default lace color is that obsidian blue with nice gold aglets. It also does come with 2 spare pair of laces, one being red and the other one being probably like a sail. So one more tidbit inside the shoe is where things kind of take a little bit of a turn, and I'm always going to give credit where credit is due. So once again, shout out to Kari over in his channel Sneaker Fetish. He's among one of the first, if not the first person to notice this error on the shoe. The greatest game never saw refers to an Olympic scrimmage between Team White and Team Blue of the American team. So actually, once you open the box up, there is this little goodie here. It's actually a clipboard that has, a basketball court on it for you to draw up your own plays. Again, there's a logo of the Jumpman and the Trophy Room logo. Now, here's the cool part. Once you flip this paper up, it actually gives you the jersey numbers of the teams of white and blue who played the greatest game never saw. So I went ahead and matched the jersey names to the actual players, and the story's a little bit different than what Magic Johnson told, but here it is. On the white team, number 9 was Michael Jordan, number 7 was Larry Bird, number 11 was Karl Malone, number 6 was Pat Ewing, and of course, number 8 was Scottie Pippen. On the opposing blue team, number 15 was Magic Johnson, 14 was Charles Barkley, 5 was David Robinson, 13 was Chris Mullin, and number 4 was Christian Laettner. Now, the way Magic Johnson tells the story, I believe he said they didn't want Christian Laettner, so he went ahead and gave him to MJ's team. But according to this, Christian Laettner was on Magic Johnson's team. Of course, there were probably multiple games in practice, but this particular release is talking about one specific game that directly pitted Magic Johnson against Michael Jordan. On the back of the clipboard, as it was, there's actually a blurb in there about how the game went back and forth and some of the competitive fire and juices that were spewing and flowing between Magic and Mike. Now, keep in mind, Mike is coming off of a back-to-back, defeating Magic Johnson's Lakers in 1991 and Clyde Drexler's Trailblazers in 1992. So after those series of games, Mike Jordan came into the locker room and Magic Johnson looked right up at him and said, "There's a new sheriff in town," hence the name. It was at that moment, again, although Mike had already won 2 championships, Magic officially passed the torch of the face of the league from himself to Mike Jordan. So now coming back to the shoe, hopefully the camera will pick this up. This actually says June 22nd, 1992. And again, shout out to Kari. He called this error the way it is. And this should actually say July 22nd, 1992, because that's around the time when the team was actually in Monaco in Monte Carlo, preparing to play the Olympic Games, which were going to be held in Barcelona, Spain nearby. I'm actually not sure why this shoe does have June 22nd, 1992 on it. If they're referencing this particular game in that particular time, there's no way chronologically the game could have taken place in June. But we're stuck with it. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe it makes your shoe a little bit more special because it has a chronological issue. I don't know. I'm making excuses, but oversights happened, and here we are, June 22nd. It should actually be July 22nd, 1992. And realistically, I think that's all there is to say about the shoe. Now, the things surrounding the shoe, that's a different story. If you're watching this video, chances are you are already familiar with the Trophy Room and the Trophy Room store, and in particular, the actual owner of the Trophy Room store, Mr. Marcus Jordan. It would be an understatement to say that the last couple of Trophy Room releases have been plagued with some issues. Now, there's a clear distinction between people complaining about fairness and equity versus there be some foolery going on in the back end. For the most part, people had an issue with the way the Trophy Room 5 was released. Now, I wasn't collecting at that time. Now, where the Trophy Room was previously located, people are saying that with the Jordan 5 Trophy Room, people had the opportunity to loop the line. And so what that means is when the shoe was released, just like it sounds, people would get a pair, leave, put their pair back, and come right back and get another one. In essence, there was no one per customer. So a lot of people who either had hookups, people were holding places in line. So with that being said, it didn't seem like people were getting the equity and fairness that they wanted out of the release of that particular shoe. Flash forward to the infamous freeze-out games, the Trophy Room Jordan 1, which it was one of those ones that was highly anticipated by people, and people thought that we were going to have a fair shot at it. I mean, they actually released on the sneakers app, for God's sake. But the bulk of the releases were supposed to come from the Trophy Room online store, and that's where things really took a bad turn. Again, there's a fine line between equity and fairness and, some actual foolery going on. So from what we can tell, there are actually very few instances of people hitting the Trophy Room freeze-out game manually. I mean, now everyone's not on social media. Everyone doesn't post everything that they do. Some people just move in silence like real G's. But that being said, the absence of posted W's, the absence of actual people who don't have connections wearing that shoe and hitting that shoe, It's few far in between. There are some people that are gonna pipe up and say, yeah, I hit this shoe manually. I got through. Smooth, seamless, and no problem. But there's never any proof of that beyond a handful of people. Now, what we did see supposedly later on was evidence of the shoe being backdoored. So we saw actual multiple people pushing hotel carts that are meant for luggage. I mean, they had boxes and boxes of the freeze out games that was being sold right out the back door in pretty much broad daylight. Now, again, no one can really confirm or deny. I mean, these things are just allegations until proven true. But it really left a sour taste in the mouths of people who wanted that equity and that fairness in sneakers. And then there are just some who feel like they deserve certain things because they support the brand or they're fans of Michael Jordan, which that couldn't be further from the case. I mean, if we're being honest, this is just a dirty game that we all play, but no one actually inherently deserves anything. I mean, you take your fair shot at it and that's that. Now, since then and forever, Marcus Jordan has been known as the backdoor king. I mean, stands to reason he made a lot of money selling that shoe early to a lot of different resellers. And again, I don't pocket watch, and that's another grown man, and I don't check the man's business. But as a sneakerhead or as a shoe collector, you know, it made me a little weary about being able to collect this particular shoe. I think in the back of Marcus's mind, he knew he had to do something to save face. And now this particular shoe was a lot more easier to capture than the Jordan 1 freeze outs, and maybe a little more fair than it was to get the Jordan 5 trophy room. That being said, there was a ton of pairs of these that were available to local residents. I happened to be down here in Orlando, about 30 minutes from the trophy room, and actually decided to put some footwork in, go put my bid in, and I got the notification that I hit the wrap. Now, for people to not be on social media potentially or not post everything that they actually win, there's a lot of dubs going around now. Now, one thing doesn't necessarily translate to the other, but it stands to reason that there's some strong evidence that the trophy room ones didn't make it to the hands of as many people as maybe we like. But this shoe was readily available for all the local residents in town. Now today, which is November 5th, the shoe released 10 a.m. on Trophy Room's website. And here we go again. So again, for people to not post much, I sure do see a lot of screen captures, a lot of screen recordings of people hitting multiple pairs. I mean, the bots ate this one up. They ate it alive. And there we are. I mean, we're back at square one again. I don't know how much Marcus Jordan owes to the community outside of Orlando to put bot protection on his site and to get the shoes into the hands of people who wanted them. To people who are local, it seems fair. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. The people in Chicago seem to get everything at outlet prices or at outlets in general, where people who are in Wichita, Kansas or Topeka get nothing. But the saving grace is that on November 9th, 11/9, you guys have an opportunity on the Sneakers app to get your shoes. While I was standing in line yesterday, I heard somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 pairs of these were made. Can't confirm nor deny, just what I heard. Now, alongside the shoe, they also released an apparel capsule, which I actually got 2 items from. So the first of which is this blue hoodie that has a picture of Magic and Michael palling around during the 1992 Olympic Games. Again, Mike is wearing the Olympic 7s that he chose, and Magic with that $1 million smile he's always brandishing. Now, the second piece of apparel I actually have is the white shorts that I actually don't have it yet. It's on the way. I manually hit the shorts from the Trophy Room website on the day of release. That doesn't mean that it was super easy. It doesn't mean that it was fair and equitable. I'm just saying that has been my experience. So like I mentioned, all that apparel as well as the shoes will be available on November 9th on the Sneakers app. So guys, get your credit cards ready, refresh and update your Sneakers app. So get out there and try to get this shoe if you really want it. So with all that being said, I can't tell you how to feel about the Trophy Room, how to feel about Marcus, how to feel about this particular shoe. I'm just reporting to you my experiences, the things I've seen and things probably we've all seen. So I would just tell you to temper your expectations and make the best out of this game. I mean, it's fun, it can be nerve-wracking, but if it's a hobby and you treat it as such, you know, you shouldn't lose any sleep over this. Yes, it is easy for me to say because I do have the shoe in hand, but listen guys, I am just like you. I just happen to live in Florida and happen to be lucky on this day. So it is what it is. I'm gonna go outside, put the shoe on feet now, give you guys lace swap options, and give you guys an up close look how it looks. And I appreciate you guys. Stick with me. I promise you guys, we can live vicariously through one another, all right? So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell. Until the next one, I'm out of here, guys. I can smell it. Oh, the original cut. There it absolutely is. I might like it better than the 2020 version. And I had to have it.